All right, let's look at the data. You ever see a headline about a central bank changing a single tiny number, and then a week later, someone on Reddit is absolutely panicking about their job security? Is that just a coincidence, or is it a direct line of cause and effect? Well, in this explainer, we are connecting the currents. We're going to show you exactly how a decision made in a boardroom in Europe can ripple all the way down into your bank account.
So let's start at the personal level, right? You've got this Reddit user trying to hit their financial independence number, but the target, it just keeps shifting. Now, it's not because they're failing. It's because the entire economic game board is being tilted by forces far, far beyond their control. And those are the forces we're about to break down. On one side of this information storm, you have this pure, high-octane volatility. Bitcoin hits an absolutely astronomical new high. I mean, this is the signal that fuels FOMO. It creates fortunes literally from thin air, and it completely dominates the conversation. This is that fast-moving, high-risk current. And then, on the complete other side, you get this. These dense, academic-sounding announcements from institutions like the European Central Bank. This stuff feels a world away from a Bitcoin chart. But these discussions, the ones about inflation and monetary policy, they are the very headwaters from which all financial currents flow. So how in the world does a speech in Europe connect to the crypto in your digital wallet? It all starts right here, with what I call the global money map. These are the institutions that basically control the economic weather. Their decisions are the origin point for every single financial ripple you feel. So at the core of it all, you have central banks and their primary weapon, monetary policy. Think of them as the economy's engineers. Their main goal is to keep things stable, right? They tweak interest rates, they adjust the money supply, all to make sure the dollar in your pocket today is worth roughly the same tomorrow. This is the slow, powerful machinery that's driving everything. And these big decisions, they don't just happen in a vacuum. This right here is a crucial data point. You have a central bank directly linking a political decision, tariffs, to a direct economic outcome, higher costs for everybody. This is the moment where geopolitics hits the supply chain, and eventually, it hits your wallet. And these institutions, they operate on a very predictable, very transparent schedule. Key announcements, speeches, publications, they're all calendared out way in advance. The professional traders, the big institutional funds, they build their entire strategies around these dates. Why? Because a single sentence from a governor can shift billions of dollars in an instant. At the exact same time, you've got these massive government bodies like the U.S. Treasury managing colossal economic factors. I mean, the national debt, for example, it's not just some abstract number. It influences interest rates, it affects investor confidence, and it determines the government's ability to spend, which in turn affects everything from infrastructure projects to social programs. So all that high-level policy has to go somewhere, right? It flows directly into what I call the market cauldron. This is the arena where those top-down decisions meet bottom-up human emotion. It's where billions of dollars collide every single second. Now, this is the layer that screams for our attention, the daily stock tickers. A company's price is a real-time sentiment gauge. It's reacting not just to earnings reports, but to every little policy shift, every inflation number, and every wave of investor fear or greed. Okay, now look at this data. This is a perfect example of what we call a sentiment divergence. The price of Bitcoin might have taken a hit recently, but look, the community sentiment, it remains overwhelmingly bullish. And that gap, that space between the price and the belief, that's a powerful dynamic that professional traders watch very, very closely. But hey, the market isn't just about optimism. It's an adversarial arena. You have firms like Hindenburg Research that exist purely to apply intense scrutiny. They're looking for what they see as anomalies, potential fraud, or just plain unsustainable business models. And their reports, they can vaporize a company's stock price, serving as a powerful check on all that market hype. So here's the crucial point. We have global policy on one hand, and we have total market chaos on the other. But what's the bridge? How do the actions of a central banker or a short seller actually connect to the choices you have to make about your own money? And now we zoom in. We zoom all the way in to the most critical level, your financial front line. This is where every global current, every market swing finally makes landfall. Every single decision you make right here is a direct response to that larger economic weather.
So take a look at this real-world asset allocation. The bulk of it, almost 70%, is in long-term sort of storm-proof assets like retirement funds. But that little slice of liquid cash, that 4.5%, that's the key. That's the emergency fund. That's the buffer zone. And it's a direct strategic response to the kind of market uncertainty we've been talking about.
And right here, this is where the rubber really meets the road. This is a classic dilemma posted on a personal finance forum. The math, just the pure numbers, says to pay off that high interest debt, but the economic environment, the uncertainty, it screams to hold on to the safety of a liquid emergency fund. You see, this isn't a spreadsheet problem. It's a real-world risk management decision.
You know, for so many people, the ultimate goal isn't just a number on a page. It's about freedom. This user's realization is, well, it's profound. It's not about escaping work entirely. It's about escaping a specific work situation. Financial independence becomes the tool to buy back control over your own life, to pursue work that's fulfilling, not just mandatory. Okay, so let's connect the final dots. We're going to draw a direct line from a dry policy report all the way to a real person's financial anxiety. This is the cause and effect chain in action. Remember this slide? A high-level, almost clinical statement from a central bank, just noting that tariffs are impacting the economy and raising costs. That's the macro view. And here is the micro impact. This is from the same user who was debating whether to pay off their car loan. And what's the reason for their hesitation? They explicitly state that because of those same tariffs, they are worried about their job security. That abstract policy created tangible, personal anxiety that is directly influencing their financial decisions. And there it is. The direct line. Global policy leads to market volatility, which leads straight to your wallet. This isn't some theory. It's the fundamental operating system of our financial world. And understanding this flow is the difference between being a pawn and being a player. So this leaves us with the ultimate question. Are you actively navigating these currents, or are you just being carried along by them? Seeing the connections, that's the first step. The next is positioning yourself to anticipate the ripples, not just react to them. In an environment like this, you have to stay disciplined, and you absolutely have to stay liquid. We're tracking these flows in real time. While you analyze the next move, check out the tools in the description. Sign up for Public to get $20 in free assets, check Webull for that BTC promo, or look into NVDA on Moomoo. Links are down below. Like and subscribe for more deep dive analysis. This analysis is for educational purposes only and is based on current data which changes rapidly. All information is sourced from the public materials cited. Please do your own due diligence before making any financial decisions.